First race, Ohio Sire Stakes, 2-year-old trotting fillies, first leg, first division. Going tonight for $14,800. One is DJ Babe, owned by Jim Arledge, driven by Del S. Miller. 2 is RB Score, owned by HPS Consulting. RFV Second Incorporated, driven by Ed Greeno Jr. 3 Grand Icon, owned by Jerry Grant and Mike Wilder. 4 is Next Speed and Dolly, owned by Newcastle Stable and Doug Lowe. 5 Pen Pal, owned by Ruth Altmeyer in the bike Dave Rankin. There's a 6. Gilted Action, owned by Ridge Farms and Gerald Burris. 7 is Prize Packet, owned by Robert Adams and David Myers. 8 is Crispy T, owned by Frank, Karen Todd, Sue Van Lennep. Frank Todd Jr. will drive. And number 9 is R. Goldie Low, owned by JBC Associates. Charlie Norris will be in the sulky. Trotters for tonight's first race. First of 3 Ohio Sire Stakes for a 2-year-old trotting filly. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Prize Packet on the far outside. Pen Pal between horses, followed by RB Score, driving toward the inside. Third after that, it's DJ Babe. Late lever on the far outside, Crispy T to 5th. Around the top turn, Grand Icon moves in to be 6th. Speed and Dolly is 2nd, followed by R. Goldie Low up on the outside. Gilted Action is the trailer. Quite a slugfest in here. All these fillies are on gate as they trot to the opening quarter-mile pole. Trotting clear in 30 1/5. RB Score has got the lead. Pen Pal is up on the outside, 2nd and challenging. DJ Babe, the pocket sitter, in 3rd. Past the stands, Crispy T is 4th. Still on the outside, Prize Packet to 5th. Grand Icon, nowhere to go, 6th. R. Goldie Low, parked with cover, swings up on the outside. Speed and Dolly and Gilted Action, as these trotting fillies are doing a pretty good job right now around the paddock turn of the half-mile pole. RB Score quickly draws off by 2. They're at the half in 102 4. Straightening out for their long journey down the backstretch. RB Score on top, an easy length and a half. The DJ Sports Babe is in the 2nd. Still on the outside, Pen Pal 3rd. Far outside, our Goldie Low with a rush to 4th. Nowhere to go, Crispy T in 5th, off stride. Prize Packet on the outside. They're into 3/4. The filly to catch is RB Score. Still attacking up on the outside, Crispy T, and on the extreme outside, our Goldie Low. Racing by 3/4 in 134. Trotting around the far turn. RB Score leads the way. DJ Babe, Crispy T is in the center. Pen Pal going a game mile. Our Goldie Low, Grand Icon moves to High Street. They're into the stretch. Ed Greeno draws the sword on RB Score. Pen Pal is in the center. DJ Babe with a rush, and the rail's going to reach. DJ Babe now gets the lead. Returning to the winner's circle, number 1, DJ Fabulous Sports Babe, a 2-year-old bay filly by Armbro Iliad out of DJ Degree, owned by trainer Jim Arledge of Orient, Ohio, given a well-judged pylon-saving drive by Del S. Miller, covering the mile here to establish a lifetime best in 2:04 4. Number 1, DJ Babe, the winner of tonight's first race, Ohio Sire Stakes, 2-year-old filly trot, first division. Representing Scioto Downs in the winner's circle from our board of directors, the esteemed and honorable Dr. Paul A. Soldner. Post time in 13 minutes. $738,965 on the bottom, and the time of the mile was. Number 1 is Sando, owned by James Jacoby, driven by David Miller. 2, Eminent Victory, owned by driver Charlie Neff and Mary Neff. Number 3 is Hopak, owned by John Plummer and Ken Kirk with Bill Long Jr. 4 is Easy Later, owned by John McDonough, driven by Chris Justice. Number 5 is Andrea's Pocket, owned by Gary Bobo in the Star Country Stable. Like to wish Gary and Susan Bobo a happy 28th anniversary. 6 AJ's Big Girl, owned by Rex Bodie, driven by Ryan Holton. 7 Racy Rhonda, owned by Daryl Chapman with Bobby Arnett. Number 8 Gifted Debutante, owned by Jeffrey McCarty, David Lytle, and Henry Russell with Dan Ader. Number 9 is Future Later, owned by Robert Rutledge, driven by Mike Wilder. Here's the 10 Doozies Reward, owned by Donald and Russell Dempsey Eggers. Ben Eggers will be in the sulky. Field for tonight's second race. Once again, like to wish a happy 28th anniversary. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. The 9 Future Later is off stride at the start. Well back, far outside. AJ's Big Girl takes the lead. Sando using the rail is in the second. Moving up on the outside, Easy Later to third. Doozies Reward out of the second tier to fourth. The Roan is up on the outside. Gifted Debutante to fifth. Looking for a seat, Andrea's Pocket. After that, Eminent Victory. She fills the gap to hold her at bay. After that comes Hopak. By the opening quarter in 27-4. Racy Rhonda and the far back trailer is Future Later as this speed duel continues past the stands to the half-mile pole. Easy Later up on the outside now, gets the lead, hard pressed. AJ's Big Girl stinging her pretty good second. Gifted Debutante still on the outside, drives to third. Sando tips and rolls from fourth. After that, Doozies Reward, followed by Andrea's Pocket. Eminent Victory can't go on with it. Hopak up on the outside, Racy Rhonda and Future Later. They're at the half-mile pole in 57-1. Quickly down the backstretch, Gifted Debutante is trying to shake free. Gifted Debutante is on top by about 6. Sando is up on the outside. Easy Later has stopped to a walk. From the outside, here comes Doozies Reward. Between horses, Andrea's Pocket. 4 deep to the far outside, Racy Rhonda and Eminent Victory. Moving by 3/4 in a quick 1:26-3. Moving around the far turn, Gifted Debutante by about 5. Sando is second. Big gap now into third and fourth. Racy Rhonda is into third. Doozies Reward on the far outside fourth. Racing through the stretch. Gifted Debutante, Sando is closing in. Racy Rhonda is going to try to make a race of it on the far outside. Gifted Debutante and Sando, 2 wide here, and who do you like? Here comes Sando, 3-year-old bay filly by Sandman Hanover out of Scotch Doe. Owned and trained in Tiffin by Jim Jacoby, driven tonight by David Miller to a lifetime best of 159-4. Number 1, Sando, the winner of tonight's second race. The 1/8 exacta returning $8.80. The try, $111.20. 1-1 daily double, $23.80, $23.80. Number 1, Long Gone Destiny, owned by Rodney Henry. Rocky Stidham drives. Number 2 is Winsome Duke, owned by Marlon Smith and David Myers. Number 3, Siren Surprise, owned by Ruth Carroll with Dan Ader. Number 4, Little Blizzard, owned by Bill Metter. Darren Mauser will be aboard. Number 5, Tucson Caper has been scratched. 6, Jack Lee Gino, owned by Robert Henry and Justin Hall. 7, Rembrandt's Jeff, owned by Jim Chaliff and David Harris with Mike Wilder. 8, Mad Arts Lag, owned by Gary Bobo in the Star Country Stable and Art Jones. 9 is John James Sharp, leased by Carla Asher and Jeff Fout. 10, Chip Champ, owned by Ken Briggs. Randy Tharps will be in the sulky. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Siren Surprise was off stride at the start. There goes Little Blizzard to take the lead. Long Gone Destiny is next, quickly out of the second tier. Chip Champ is in the third. Winsome Duke is fourth. Nicely tucked along the rail. Rembrandt's Jeff to fifth. Ranging up on the outside, Matt Tart's Lag sixth. Showing seventh, Jack Lee Gino. After that, John James Sharp. Siren Surprise is the trailer. as they race by the opening quarter in 28-1. Field for tonight's third race, Superfecta in parade past the stands, and Chip Champ has brushed to the front. Chip Champ is there by 2.5. Little Blizzard second. Long Gone Destiny third. Matt Tart's lag on the outside fourth as they make their way through the clubhouse turn. Winsome Duke is along the rail, getting caught in badly. Rembrandt's Jeff ranging up on the outside. John James Sharp. Jack Lee Gino and Siren Surprise is now a dozen from the lead. And the lead in 59 belongs to Chip Champ. Chip Champ looks to stack him and rack him down the backstretch. Chip Champ on top by a length. Here comes the 9. John James Sharp flying up on the outside. Second, Little Blizzard along the rail third. Long Mile in between horses. Matt Tart's lag to fourth, followed by Long Gone Destiny. On the far outside, Rembrandt's Jeff is just shaken loose and is flying on the far outside. Racing by 3/4 in 1:28-1. Around the far turn, Chip Champ leads the way. Rembrandt's Jeff picking him up and laying him down quickest of all on the far outside. They're off the turn in the stretch and they're on their way home. Darting to command on the far outside, Rembrandt's Jeff now gets the lead. Rembrandt's Jeff, Little Blizzard, Chip Champ, here comes Long Gone Destiny closing on the inside. Deep stretch, Rembrandt's Jeff, Little Blizzard, and 1 Long Gone Destiny third. 4 Little Blizzard. 4-year-old bay gelding by Ann Fitch out of Chris Starmite. Owned in Lebanon by Bill Metter. Ran and trained by Darren Mauser. Covering them out here in 1:58-3 and a lifetime best for 4 Little Blizzard, the unofficial winner. Windows open on the 4th. Ohio Sire Stakes for 2-year-old trotting fillies. First leg, second division, field of 9. In the 5th race, scratch number 6, Hoosier Knight. 5th race, scratch 6, Hoosier Knight. 7th race, Jim Daly driving 7, My Last Bid. Post time in 13 minutes at 8:33. First leg, second division, 14-8. The purse in a field of 9. 1 is Hello Mamie, owned by Kathy Smith and Warren Holland, driven by Jeff Smith. 2 is Ella's Dreamer, owned by HBS Stable and Pat Willem, driven by Marty Willem. Number 3 is CSI Mudslide Sally, owned by CSI Farm and Frank Todd Jr. Number 4 is Forevermore, owned by Robert Travis and Keith Justice. 5, Perfect Message, owned by Darrell Lewis and Mark Winters. Darrell Lewis will be in the bike. 6, Striking Daylight, owned by Randy Leopard, Ken Roebuck, John Berry, and Marilyn Leopard, driven by Brad Henners. Number 7 is Rachel's Moneyed, owned by the Bolyard Farm of Indiana, driven by Jeff Bolyard. Number 8, Dottie's Score, owned by Dean Davis and Kurt Sugg. 9, Chillin' on Sunday, owned by David Myrick. Jim Daly will be in the sulky. Trotters for the 4th, 5 minutes till post. Field for tonight's 4th race, Trot. Takes that final turn. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Forevermore takes the lead. CSI Mudslide Sally between horses second. Ella's Dreamer and Hello Mamie along the rail. Jumping off stride, the favorite Striking Daylight is on a break down the backstretch to the far turn. Forevermore has got the lead by 2. CSI Mudslide Sally with a rush on the outside now takes over, followed by Ella's Dreamer in 3rd. Hello Mamie swings up on the outside to 4th. After that, it's Dottie's Score into 5th, followed by Perfect Message. After that, Rachel's Money, Chillin' on Sunday, and the favorite Striking Daylights. 20 from the front. They opened up here in 30 3/5. Racing past the stands, Hello Mamie is brushed to the top. Hello Mamie leads away. CSI Mudslide Sally in the pocket second. Ella's Dreamer starts the train from mid-pack 3rd. Around the lower turn, Keith Justice and Forevermore are 4th. Moving up on the outside as they make their way to the half-mile pole. Dottie's Score, gap of 3. Rachel's Money underway. Chillin' on Sunday. Perfect Message and Striking Daylight is 9th. They're at the half. 101 and 4. They're down the backstretch. Hello Mamie out on top has got company in the form of Ellen's Dreamer on the outside. Ellen's Dreamer on the rim. Toward the rail, Hello Mamie second. CSI Mudslide Sally will wait for the passing lane in third. Dottie scored to fourth. Forevermore nowhere to go in fifth. As they make their way by three quarters, Rachel's Money striking daylight moves into the far outside. Toward the rail, Perfect Message is eighth. Showing on Sunday ninth, they're all on gate and wide open in 1:32 and 2. Trotting fillies move to the head of the stretch. Frank Todd Jr. tugs the right line. CSI Mudslide Sally on the outside now gets the lead. CSI Mudslide Sally draws off in the second Sire Stakes. Hello Mamie's trying to hold on for second and will. Here's Rachel's Money getting up third. Here comes the unofficial winner. 3 CSI Mudslide Selling. 2-year-old brown filly by Striking Sabra out of Grand Megan by Agogo Lomont. Owned in Hickory, North Carolina by the CSI Farm. Driven and trained tonight by Frank Todd Jr. to an easy victory here in a lifetime best 2:03. 3 CSI Mudslide Sally, the winner of tonight's second division of the Ohio Sire Stakes for 2-year-old trotting fillies. In the winner's circle, Scioto Downs track nurse R.N. Mary Garrity. 3-1 exact, the returning $55.60, $55.60. Windows are now up and on tonight's fifth race. There is no twin trifecta carryover. Judges scratched 6 Hoosier Night. Scratch 6 Hoosier Night. Seventh race, number 7, My Last Bid. The driver will be Jim Daly. Seventh race, number 7, My Last Bid. The driver will be Jim Daly. Post time in 14 minutes at 8:54. Here's Parade Marshal Kathy McDonald in the field of trotters. Number 1 is Mabel's Image, owned by Stephen Smith, driven by Charlie Norris. 2, Wild Louie, owned by John Howman and David Miller. 3, White Wall Crown, owned by Warren Howen. The rangeman is Jeff Smith. 4, Pass the Ammo, owned by Melody Ross and Dave Hawk. 5, Word of Prayer, owned by Barbara Stultz. Al Denton, driven by Dan Ader. 6, Hoosier Night has been scratched by the judges. 7 is White in His Eye, owned by the Hatfield Stables, driven by Trader Bud Hatfield. 8 is Carpet Griff, owned by Gerald Jolliffe and James Veach, driven by Jay Veach, 9-Hour Jake. Owned by Larry Farley with Jeff Fout, 10, Copy the Message. Owned by Ernie Evans, Jim Daly will be in the sulky. Trotters for the 5th, 6 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Past the Ammo between horses. Takes the lead in the 8. Carpet Griff is off stride. Winging to command on the far outside. There goes Our Jake with a rush. Wild Louie is on the rail. Past the Ammo on the rim to third. Ranging up on the outside. Word of Prayer fourth. White Wall Crown moves in to be fifth. Followed by Mabel's Image in 6th, trotting 7th, Copy the Message. White in His Eye in 8th, Carpet Griff, the far back trailer, speeding by the quarter in a nifty 28 and 2, trotting past the stands. Our Jake has got the lead for Jeff Fout. Our Jake will try to make every polo winning one. Past the Ammo is settled in there second. Past the stands in third, Wild Louie. Racing fourth, White Wall Crown, Word of Prayer. Mabel's Image, the 10, Copy the Message up on the outside. Carpet Griff, off stride, White in His Eye. Action galore here. They're at the half-mile pole. Our Jake continues to lead. Wild Louie comes to the outside. They're at the half in a crisp 59 and 2 up the backstretch. Our Jake by a half a length. Wild Louie draws alongside in second. Past the Ammo, skimming the pylons in third. White Wall Crown live cover to fourth. Nowhere to go, the big horse, Mabel's Image to fifth. Ranging up on the outside, Word of Prayer, Copy the Message. Off stride again, Carpet Griff. And the far back trailer is White in His Eye. We're down to these 7 by 3/4 in a quick 1:29 and 1. Moving around the far turn. Our Jake, Wild Louie, nearest the rail, past the Ammo. White Wall Crown, 3 wide to the outside, fourth. Along the inside, Word of Prayer. They're inside the final 1/8 of a mile. Going well up top, it's still Our Jake. Our Jake leads the way between horses past the ammo along the rail. Word of Prayer. Our Jake, coast to coast tight between Word of Prayer and past the ammo. Here's the unofficial winner of tonight's fifth race. Number 9, Our Jake. 3-year-old Bay Gelding by Suit Happy out of Jess's sister, owned in Berkey, Ohio by Larry Farley. Trained by Wilbur Farley, driven coast to coast by Jeff Fout. Trotting that mile here in 1:59.1. That's a lifetime best for number 9, Our Jake, the unofficial winner. Five, Word of Prayer got up second. Number 4, Past the Ammo was third. And number 10, Copy the Message was fourth. Half of the twin trifecta, the $1 payoff, $469.50. Avenger Sabra. Owned by Jack Shearer, Ronald Postley, driven by David Miller. 2 is Cool Ambition, owned by Robert McCurdy and Craig Parker, driver Frank Todd Jr. 3, Easy Living, owned by Fred Schroeder Jr. and Donnie Conrad, driven by Josh Whitelow. 4, Color Me Best, owned by James Hoffler and Marjorie Hoffler. Jeff Fout will be aboard. 5 is Oil Cam, owned by Lloyd Voiles and Todd Christie with Mike Wilder. 6, Tank Sabra, owned by Ellen and Mike Havens with Del S. Miller. 7 is Will's Falcon, owned by Mike Metters and Kevin Leinberger with Brad Hanners. Number 8 is Western Ho, owned by Tom York Jr., John Melsheimer, Larry Porter, and driver Dave Rankin, who will be in the sulky. No changes in the 6th. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off, Van Pacing. Color Me Best takes the lead. The 8 makes a nasty break on the outside. Western Ho is off stride. Color Me Best takes the lead with Avenger Sabra along the rail. Moving up on the outside, Tank Sabra to third. Cool Ambition to fourth, followed by Will's Falcon. Off stride between horses, Oil Cam. Jumping off stride inside the pylons, Tank Sabra. And we'll pick these guys up back on the front end of the opening quarter mile. Driving away on top, it's Color Me Best with an easy lead in 28-3. Past the stands, Color Me Best on top while being geared down. Avenger Sabra with his new shoes on is the stalker second. They are crawling right now. Cool Ambition is in the third. Will's Falcon fourth. Western Ho got back into it. After that, it's Easy Living. Oil Cam, the first of the breakers, and after that, the other breaker, Tank Sabra, as they're in no hurry right now, and they're all in pursuit of the odds-on favorite. 3-5, Color Me Best is rolling right along. Color Me Best gets them by the halfway point in 1:01. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Color Me Best continues to show his heels to the field. Avenger Sabra skims the pylon second. Cool Ambition swings up on the outside third. Western Ho has gotten back into it. Will's Falcon nowhere to go in fifth. Followed by Easy Living, Oil Cam, and Tank Sabra on the outside. Color Me Best, son of Cam Best, now opens up a notch or two by 3/4 in a good 1:30. Moving around the far turn. Color Me Best trying to make every pull the winning one, leads the way. Avenger Sabra second. Western Ho on the far outside. Cool Ambition gives way up the pylons. Will's Falcon off the turn in the stretch. They're on their way home. Color Me Best the length and a half. Avenger Sabra will try to test the pace setter in the final 70 yards. Here's Will's Falcon on the outside. Color Me Best, Avenger Sabra, and Will's Falcon third. Out of Color Trend by Abercrombie, owned by James and Marjorie Hoffler of Sunbury and Hobbsville, North Carolina. Trained by Bruce Walls, driven tonight coast to coast by Jeff Fout. Covering that mile in a lifetime best, 1:58.2. Number 4, Color Me Best, the unofficial winner of tonight's 6th race blanket presented by Central Ohio Miami Alumni. Three out of three in the pick three, 206.20. 3 out of 3 in the pick three, 206.20. Exacta 20.80. Trifecta 74.40. Post time in 14 minutes. Jim Daly driving 7, My Last Bid. Winning numbers in the pick 3, 3, 9, and 4, 206.20. Avenger Sabra second. Cool Ambition was 158 and 2. Number 1 is Ready Wit, owned by Tom Kinch. David Miller drives. 2 is Special Blessing, owned by Mary Epking and Kevin Brown. 3 is Mac Ryan, owned by John Cantrell and David Cantrell Sr. with Jeff Fout. 4, C.J. Baker, owner Shirley Robinson, driver Dave Hawk. 5, Sandman Scooter, owned by Jim Florio and Delana Hoover, driven by Mike Wilder. 6, King of Poland, owned by David Ehrenberg II, along with the driver Charlie Neff. 7, My Last Bid, owned by Marianne Mitchell and a driver change to Jim Daly. 9, Don't Be a Lion, leased by Rebecca Barker and Al Jones. 9, High Albus, owned by Larry Fullen with Bob Harper. 10, Silent Carey, owned by Mark Williams. Brad Hanners will be in the sulky. Field for the 7th race. Happy birthday going out to Kristen Allensworth. 5 minutes till. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing away to a good start. My Last Bid on the far outside takes the lead. Quickly between horses, here comes Sandman Scooter to second. Ready Wit drives from the rail in third. King of Poland sweeps up on the outside fourth out of the second tier. Silent Carey is in the fifth, followed by Special Blessing. After that, Mac Ryan, followed by C.J. Baker. Don't Be Lion and High Albus. 10th and last, they open up 27 and 2. Flying past the stands to the half-mile pole. Action galore here. Ready Wit on the outside, brushes to the front. Silent Carey is under an all-out drive. Sandman Scooter yields to third, followed by My Last Bid in fourth. King of Poland gapping fifth. Special Blessing in sixth. Mac Ryan catches Von Ryan's Express as they move around the paddock turn. Driving up on the outside, Don't Be Lion. After that, C.J. Baker and the trailer is High Albus. 56 and 3. Total Mission in here, straightening out for their long journey down the backstretch. Ready Wit on top. Silent Carey will be heard from now. Silent Carey up on the outside. Ready Wit along the rail, followed by Sandman Scooter in third. My Last Bid fourth. Mac Ryan steady closer up on the far outside. C.J. Baker and the Hawkman is now flying into contention. The others better pick it up now by 3/4. 127 around the far turn. Silent Carey on the outside gets the lead. Steady grind, C.J. Baker giving way. Ready Wit moving out from between horses. Jeff Fout and Mac Ryan. They're fanned out 7 wide in the drive. Silent Carey brings them home. Silent Carey still attacking C.J. Baker. Mac Ryan, here's High Albus stoking the coals on the far outside. C.J. Baker, Silent Carey holds. Race number 10, Silent Carey. 5-year-old bay gelding by Silent Majority out of Manart Carrymore. Owned in Reynoldsburg by Mark Williams, trained by Virgil Morgan. Driven tonight by Brad Hanners. Covering the mile here in 158 and 1. Number 10, Silent Carey, the winner. The 10-4 exact even. We do have an 11-race program tonight. There are no changes on the balance of the program. Post time 14 minutes away at 9:55. Third and final Ohio Sire Stakes division tonight. This is the opening leg for 2-year-old trotting fillies. 10, T-Tar's Yakety Yak will score from the second tier. Post time 9:55. Here comes the field of trotting fillies for tonight's third and final division of the Ohio Sire Stakes here in this opening leg. Number 1 is Rosie's Legend, owned by Vando Betty. John Froelich, driven by Robin Miller. 2 is Scored Well, owned by Tom Upthegrove Sr. with Jeff Smith. 3, Dame Iliad, owned by Peter and Gail McCann. Robert Pierce, driven by Jeff Fout. 4, Win with Val, owned by HPS Consulting. RFV II Incorporated with Ed Greeno Jr. 5 is Most Becoming, owned by Billy Joe and James Crane. Billy Crane will be in the bike. 6, Only a Snip, owned by Martin Scharf and Dave Rankin. 7, Mrs. Jane, owned and driven by Pius Sunland. 8, She's a Baby, owned by Donald Fries with Claire Umholtz. Number 9 is Paula Quite Polite, owned by Mark Hubbard, Fred Long, Richard Berry, and driver Paul Ungashik. 10 from the second tier, T-Tars Yakety Yak, owned by George Feltner. David Miller will be in the sulky. That is the field for the 8th Ohio Sire Stakes third. Field for tonight's 8th race has taken that final turn on their way back to the starting. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. 4 and 9. Win with Val and Paula Quite Polite are both off stride at the start. Moving out from between horses, Only a Snip takes the lead. Most Becoming drives in there second. Mrs. Jane, 3 deep on the outside to third. They're down the back stretch. Ranging up on the outside, She's a Baby is on the move to fourth. Dame Iliad gets away nicely fifth as they make their way to the turn. Scored Well, followed by the Rail Filly, Rosie's Legend. After that, T-Tars Yakety Yak, and the trailers are Win with Val and Paula Quite Polite, and they open up here 29 and 2. Trotting past the stands, off stride further back in the field, that's the one, Rosie's Legend. Only a Snip, 2 to 5 favorite to secure the top. Only a Snip leads the way. Mrs. Jane is stalking in second. Around the clubhouse turn, Most Becoming third. Here's Dame Iliad ranging up on the outside to fourth. After that, She's a Baby in fifth. T-Tars Yakety Yak as they hit the half-mile pole. Alongside Scored Well. Big gap now to the trailers. Paula Quite Polite, Win with Val, and Rosie's Legend, 101 and 2. Straightening out for their long journey down the backstretch, the favorite is Jiggy Joggin'. It's Only a Snip who continues to lead the way. Mrs. Jane in second. Dame Iliad trotting up on the outside third. Most Becoming fourth. Driving up on the far outside to fifth, Scored Well. T-Tars Yakety Yak, and along the rail, that's She's a Baby. Racing by 3/4, Only a Snip has faced and met every challenge so far in 132 and 4. Moving around the far turn. Only a Snip, ready to take just a little bit off the top, continues to lead the way. Dame Iliad draws alongside in second. Mrs. Jane waits for the passing lane into third. Most Becoming is fourth. Middle of the racetrack, She's a Baby fifth. The favorite is all in. Dame Iliad now gets the lead. Only a Snip is fighting back. And here comes Pius up the rail. Mrs. Jane wins it. Here comes 7, Mrs. Jane, and the photo sign comes down. Photograph showing 3, Dame Iliad up second. 6, Only a Snip third. Number 8, She's a Baby fourth. It's official. Here's Pius Sunland and his Mrs. Jane. 2-year-old brown filly by Stone King out of Fair Hazel by Neville the Impulse. Owned and trained by Canton, Ohio's Pius Sunland. Trotting them out here in 2:03 and 1 to establish a lifetime best. 7, Mrs. Jane, the winner. Trophy tonight by Mary Garrity and Ann Doolin. Exacted 12:04.80. The try $7,035.60. The box $3,517.80. Windows are now open on tonight's 9th race. Post time in 13 minutes at 10:14. Next post in 13 minutes. Start of the final, pick 3. Top down, Rosie's left. Yakety Yak was Brad Hanners leads the field to the post for the ninth with 1 Charlie R for owner Mike Rardin. 2 Sharp Fan, owned by Warren Howland and David Miller. Number 3 is Elvin Pretzel, owned by Harold Boyd and Jim Daly. 4 CL Boy, owned by Roy Murphy and Larry King. Mike Wilder will be aboard. 5 is Ada Energizer, owned by Denny Centers and Russell Dalton. Jack Daly will be in the bike. 6 is Bando Ralph, owned by Ray Cromer, Stephen Yates and Jerry Kincaid. Jeff Fout. 7 Sand Reflection, owned by Ron Gillerman, driven by David Hawk. 8 is Beeler Hanover, going tonight for Charles Green and Bob Harper. 9 Hot Hornet, owned by Gene Roberts with Randy Tharps. Number 10, and here he is, folks, Small but Incredible, owned by Beverly Frost. David Majeski will be in the sulky. Field for the ninth, post time in 5. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. CL Boy takes the lead. Bando Ralph, middle of the racetrack, along the rail. Charlie R and Sharp Fan, they're down the backstretch. Driving up on the far outside, Hot Hornet from 5th. Followed by Add an Energizer, away safely, Small but Incredible. Followed by Elvin Pretzel, after that Sand Reflection and the new horse, Beeler Hanover. As they move into the opening quarter-mile pole. Driving up on the outside, a challenge for the lead. From Bando Ralph, it's Add an Energizer. Moving by the opening quarter, a quick 27-4. They're off that top turn and racing past the stands. The slugfest continues. Hot Hornet in hot pursuit of Bando Ralph. The pocket filler is CL Boy. After that, Charlie R. Favorite Set Sail from the rail, Sharp Fan. Driving up on the outside, Add an Energizer, Small but Incredible. Swings up on the outside as Hot Hornet is stopped abruptly. Around the lower turn of the half-mile pole, Elvin Pretzel, Sand Reflection, and Beeler Hanover. They're at the half, 56-4. They're flying down the backstretch. Bouncing along with a 4-length lead, it's Bando Ralph, first to flush. Coming with a rush, and here's Sharp Fan on the outside, coming into contention. Toward the rail, CL Boy. After that, it's Charlie R. Starting up on the outside, Add an Energizer. Gap of about 8 lengths to Elvin Pretzel. Sand Reflection wends his way through heavy traffic. Small but Incredible, Beeler Hanover on the far outside, and Hot Hornet by 3/4, an unreal 125-3. Field straightens away. Bando Ralph, the one to chase down. Purple and white drives up on the outside with Sharp Fan. Bando Ralph, Sharp Fan is closing down the middle of the racetrack with every stride. From the outside at Sharp Fan, now getting the lead. Sharp Fan, Bando Ralph, and CL Boy will finish third. Of 155 not beaten tonight, 155-4 close enough. Sharp Fan, 8-year-old bay gelding by Look Sharp out of Fantasy Fan. Owned in Bainbridge by Warren Howland, trained by Ben Jones, driven tonight by David Miller, covering them out in 155-4 in a season's best. Number 2, Sharp Fan, the unofficial winner. When the windows open up on tonight's 10th race, 2. One T's Last D, owned by Francis and Robert DeMeo, driven by Rocky Stidham. 2 is Harold Leader, owned by Bob Griffith and Randy Tharps. 3, Yankee Gourmet, owned by Robert Wilson and David Miller. Number 4, CC Big Guy Braxton, owned by Sheila Collins. Jeff Fout will be aboard. 5 is Pleasing Kip, owned by Dolly Hessler, and a driver change to Jim Daly. 6 is Barron's Carrier, owned by Sarah Rader and Jack Daly. Number 7 is Soul Brother, owned by Tom Cummins and Sam and Dave and James Brown with Mike Wilder. Number 8 is a Competitor, owned by Enlo Atkinson and Ron Powell, 9 Noble Town, owned by Earl Ader, Ron Fuster, Pat McAllister, and Benny Holler, Dan Ader. 10 is Tudors Express, owned by Robert Reynolds. Jerry L. Reynolds will be in the sulky. Jim Daly driving 5, Pleasing Kip, post time in 6 minutes. In motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing, middle of the racetrack. CC Big Guy Braxton takes the lead. Barron's Carrier up on the outside. Harold Leader along the rail, third. They're down the backstretch. Here's Nobletown, a late lever on the outside, fourth. Filling the gap, Yankee Gourmet from 5th. Around the turn, Pleasing Kip is in the 6th, followed by Soul Brother in 7th. The overmatched Tease Last D is 8th. 9th up on the outside, Tudor's Express. The competitor trails the field 27-2. They're off that top turn and racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Harold Leader, where he likes it best, is out on top for Randy Tharps, and he'll be revved up with about 5/8 of a mile to pace. The favorites are now 1-2 around the clubhouse turn. Harold Leader tries to dispatch the field by a length and a half. Yankee Gourmet still in the back burner second. Tucked in there third, CC Big Guy Braxton. Been a long mile for Barron's Carrier fourth. Nobletown is fifth. Soul Brother far outside, followed by Pleasing Kip. Tudor's Express, Tease Last D up on the far outside. The competitor, 56-3. With his head down, Randy Tharp's only going to go one way tonight, and that's down the highway or my way. Harold Leader by 2. Doing his best in second, Yankee Gourmet. Picking up the chase, CC Big Guy Tony Braxton third. Ready to sing from that spot as they race by 3/4, 126-3. The top two are now getting away from the others. Randy Tharp yet to draw the shore, but does raise the lines just a little bit. Here they come, spinning out of the turn. Harold Leader cuts the corner by 2. Yankee Gourmet is cooking down the middle of the racetrack. Nobletown's going to try to chase down the favorites. Randy Tharps is all over Harold Leader. He's going to reach. It's Harold Leader, Yankee Gourmet, and Nobletown third. A horse by Brave Leader out of Rainy Day Breda. Out in Georgetown, Kentucky by Bob Griffith. Trained by Robert Burns, no relation. Driven tonight by Randy Tharps. Covering them out here coast to coast in 156-2. Number 2, Harold Leader, the winner of tonight's 10th race. 2-3 exacta, $8.40. The 2-3-9 trifecta, $71.80. Windows are now open on tonight's 11th and final race. Superfecta wagering post time 14 minutes away at 10:50. Top down, Tease Last D was 9th. Harold Leader, the winner. As Kathy McDonald, parade marshal, brings them out. One Classic Cavalier, owned by Frank Palmer, driven by Del S. Miller. 2 Midnight Scooter, leased by Robert Zink and Mike Wilder. 3 I'm a Hustler, owned by Daniel Cleland and Charles Smith Jr. 4 License to Race, owned by James Gregg. Randy Tharps will be aboard. 5 Honiton Vance, owned by Laverne Gales and David Miller. 6 Gettysburg Express, owned by Carla Asher and Brad Hanners. 7 Sacra Spur, owned by Merle Moore and Jack Daly. Number 8 Bonjour, owned by Bill Crothers, driven by David Hawk. 9 is the Gray H.H. Blizzard, owned by Tracy Wostendyke and Tom Fry and Jeff Fout. Number 10 is Barnabas, owned by Alan Honius. Dan Ader will be in the sulky. Field for the 11th race, Superfecta wagering, 5 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Barnabas is off stride and is out of this one. He's a 1/4 of a mile from the horses. Down the back stretch, H.H. Blizzard on the far outside is being gunned to the front. Followed by Midnight Scooter in second. Driving up on the outside, License to Race in third. As the field moves to the 1/4 mile pole, Classic Cavalier is in the fourth. I'm a Hustler is fifth, and Charles Smith is already coming to the outside. After that, it's Honiton Vance and the Hawkman. Bonjour as they move by the opening quarter in 29 seconds flat. After that comes Gettysburg Express. 3 more to Sacra Spur and far back Barnabas. 9 are on gate and pretty well grouped past the stands to the half-mile pole. H.H. Blizzard has got the lead. I'm a Hustler moves up on the outside second. Tipping and rowing live cover, Honiton Vance the third. Around the clubhouse turn, in between horses fourth. Midnight Scooter, they're at the half-mile pole in 58-3. Out of the turn and down the backstretch, License to Race, nowhere to go in fifth. Bonjour is up on the outside. Here comes Gettysburg Express. Classic Cavalier got shuffled way back, gap of 3. Sacra Spur and Barnabas, 9 hub to hub with about a 1/4 of a mile to drive. H.H. Blizzard on top. I'm a Hustler on the outside, not giving an inch and not asking for one. In between horses, Honiton Vance and along the rail, Midnight Scooter, racing by 3/4 and a good 128-1. Moving around the far turn, H.H. Blizzard is going to try to hold. Honiton Vance sweeps up on the outside. Along the rail, Midnight Scooter, I'm a Hustler is in the center. Bonjour looks to bid this field an early good night. We'll see if he can pick it up inside the final 16th. Dave Miller goes to Rocket and Jeff out to Knockin'. In between horses, Mike Wilder, and along the rail, Licensed to Race. Honiton Vance wins it. Midnight Scooter, Licensed to Race, and it's tight for fourth. And Midnight Scooter, a 10-year-old bay son of Direct Scooter out of Broomhilda, Hanover, owned in Oregonia, Ohio by Robert Zink, trained by Tommy Smith, driven tonight by Honiton Vance is owned by Laverne Gales of Spencerville, trained by Laverne Gales, driven tonight by David Miller. Honiton Vance, a 10-year-old bay horse by Vance Hanover out of Honiton, owned by Laverne Gales of Spencerville, Ohio. Result of tonight's 11th race, now official. Five, 2,